What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Day Trade with Zay. I'm your host, Isaac, and this is the trade breakdown video for today's trades. Today is Tuesday, January 18, 2022, and man, this one kind of hurts again because had the correct bias, had everything here. This is open right here. We took some sells, were able to close some profits. I broke even on this first trade, took profits over at 58.2 pips on this one, and then was eventually stopped out when it made its push up to the upside. And what's funny is I seen it making its move up here before we closed the actual live stream. But I didn't want to overtrade, and I knew I had to get my daughter ready for school, so I kind of just left it alone. But as you can see, my original goal was around 61.8% for my take profit, which would have netted us about 133 pips for the day. And with that being said, I was stopped out and was only able to catch about 58 pips for the day. We were still profitable, had some good money management, but you can see what essentially happened here was the reason. Well, you know what? Let me go ahead and start with the reason why I took the trade. So let's go ahead and revert back here for a bit. So the reason I took the trade was I had done the Fibonacci. Let's do it here. Like something like this. I had done the Fibonacci from this most recent high to the most recent low. And you could see, yeah, there isn't any IOCs right here, right? Nothing here of any sort. But one thing I seen was that it kept getting rejected at this area up top, right? And you could see this is about 61% right here that it's getting rejected at. Multiple rejections at this area, broke down below the 50 EMA, which was something that we were looking at, right, when we took the trade. So right here at open, what is it, 630 is right here. So this first trade at open, that's when we actually took it. We seen a push up, long rejection down. We hopped into the trade. Long rejection off of the 50 EMA after, right here on the 1 minute to 20 EMA crossed over. Was able to take the trade. I thought it was on its way to breaking this low right here and pushing to the downside, but it pushed all the way up and stopped me out at break even. We then seen it push up, and I just trusted the bias, and I seen at this area that it really didn't break these highs right here, right? So as soon as it rejected down, I was able to jump in again. I knew my stop loss was going to be a lot shorter, just above this wick here. Knew the stop loss was going to be a lot shorter, so I was able to hop into the trade and write it down to the downside. Now, it kind of sucks because we had the correct bias, but it again was stopped out at this support level before it eventually pushed up to the upside. And I took profits here because I seen that it kept rejecting this support level, right? So I took profits at about 58 pips. I was actually hoping to take it at about 65 pips, I think. But the volatility of the market at that point, or at least on that candle, had it pushed up to the upside, and I lost about 8 pips on that. So I pulled half of my trade here, let the other half ride up, unfortunately, to the upside where I was stopped out at break even. And it gave me hope. You could see there's a lot of rejections right here off the 50 EMA, but it eventually broke up to the upside, made its way up. And I had called it. I thought that this area was a strong area of interest, right? We see a lot of support here. So I thought that it could be used as a resistance level, which you could go ahead and see it eventually did use. And man, it hurts because, seeing all this, I probably would have taken the trade here, right? Let's just call it what it is. It would have been about a 25 pip stop loss, just above these highs right here. And we would have seen what we could have done. Price eventually, you could see it pushed up and was able to reverse back down and come down strong. It then used the 50 EMA as a support level, broke under it, used it as a resistance level. Same thing here, resistance level, and was able to take it down to the downside. Now, this wasn't an easy trade to hold on to, just because that it's creating these higher lows and it's possible for it to push up. But once you see these rejections here, you're in the clear. Now you just want to see it break below the support level down here, which it eventually does. Go ahead, speed it up a little bit. But you could see how price just broke down, right? We're already up 140. 123 pips at this point, and you could essentially just ride this down to the downside. And it got to exactly where I wanted to get to, around the 61.8% level. And you know, it sucks, but it is what it is. We live and we learn. We do our trade journals. We see exactly what we did wrong. Staying in the trades a little bit longer, staying on the charts a little bit longer, is something that we could have done better. Not staying in the trades, but staying on the charts a little bit longer just to see if our biases are correct and you know how much we're willing to risk. But the reason I did hop out is because I hit my trade limit for the day. I didn't want to keep putting in positions, and you know, the more you trade, the more you risk, and you know that's just a simple fact, simple math. So you want to try and stay away from trading so much and entering so many different positions because the more you trade, the more you risk, right? But this was a beautiful trade. You've seen it came back up, rejected this area here, and was able to break down to the downside. And at the moment, price is just flying. So, you know, you could see it here. Price has flown down to the downside. Um, and, you know, it was a huge move, which, you know, hopefully we can capitalize on the markets tomorrow. We'll see what it gives us, any entries that it gives us, and we'll be able to go ahead and take it down from there. So just got to wait and see. Yeah, 240 pips up from this area up here. Those always hurt. But the market makers know what they're doing. They probably had a lot of sales at this area and wanted to get people shook and out of their, you know, their positions. And, you know, it worked on me, and I'm sure it worked on some others, but it is what it is. And you could see the trade worked out for the better. And why I leave these levels open. I seen strong level of support here, 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 here. And now that strong level of support now became a resistance level, right? So it just goes to show you what price is doing, right? And what the market makers are thinking at the same time. So you could see this thing actually flew down close to, yeah, 360 pips. And those always sting the worst when you got them like that, when you have your bias right. And, you know, it's something that I'm learning, that the market makers will go ahead and take you out and get you going. But you know, I appreciate you guys for tuning in on this trade breakdown. This one was going to be short and quick. We didn't take too many positions, but the reason we did take the positions was obvious downtrend, right? Once we were in the obvious downtrend on the 1 minute chart, we're able to go ahead and see that, yeah, we're in some consolidation right here, right? In some consolidation, but we've seen that price had broken down under our supply and demand resistance to support level, and 50 EMA had crossed over the 20 EMA here, and that's why we were a huge rejection off the 50 EMA, 20 EMA, and take this trade to the downside. So we had the confirmations there, rejection at 61%, but you know, the market just didn't go the way that we wanted it to today. And it's all part of the game. Losses are a part of the game. And, you know, it's just something that we accept now. And even then, we don't even call these losses losses. It's win, learn, or draw. And that's how we're doing it. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you guys see anything that might be of any amiss, if you see something that maybe I missed, please go ahead and comment. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And if you can, just, you know, go ahead and share it. Spread the word. I'm doing this for free. This is all game. You know, hopefully my trading journey is able to go ahead and help some new traders, maybe some experienced traders, and, you know, break bread. That's really what it's about. It's about giving and helping others get back. So, you know, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and hope to see you tomorrow, 6:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to be on the charts, and let's get to it, man. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a good one, man. Good night.